What's up, worshipers? You are tuned in right now with Pastor Denzel right here on Glory 93.9 FM.
This is Jay Todd, and you're listening to Pastor Denzel on Glory 93.9 FM.
Y'all second time. Yes. Let's do it. Listen, I said the axe is laid at the root of the tree that's not bearing fruit. So what we are gonna do? All right then. Chop, 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 chop it down. Not bearing fruit, yes we are gonna chop it down. Chop, 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 chop it down. Not bearing no fruit, then you know we have to chop it down. Chop, 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 chop it down. Not bearing fruit, yes we are gonna chop it down. Chop, 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 chop it down. Turn on the saw, make you know we have to chop it down. And up here for the large fruit, and up banana, orange, breadfruit, tangerine, just up in a coconut suit. I try to grow like sister grapefruit. Tree big and tall and it's full of green leaf, but it's not bearing fruit for the them to teeth. Nice and shady, it don't provide for sleep, but the people are hungry. I want food to eat. Well, listen me. From your little teeny when you had grow, and with your water you look out the door. Well, not even blossom in our show. Well, this is a massacre, I don't want you to know now. Chop, 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 chop it down. Not bearing fruit, yes we are gonna chop it down. Chop, 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 chop it down. Not bearing no fruit, then you know we have to chop it down. Chop, 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 chop it down. Not bearing fruit, yes we are gonna chop it down. Chop, 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 chop it down. Turn on the saw, then you know we have to chop it down. I said the fruit of the spirit, you must know what they are. It's not something you buy, like candy bar in a plastic bag. To put in your car, to make orange and tangerine start bar. The fruit of the spirit was ripe, ready for pick. Mean like that, but you have to kill them with it. When I fling big stone and I fling long stick. The fruits where you have made them know it exist. Well, if nobody now pay your tree any mind, well, it means they'll leave them I see all the time. If you wish to be standing next to this time, you better start being too lame.
Chop, 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 chop it off. Listen, that's Barbershop Talk intro music as we chopping just bad hair, bad beard. We chopping it off and we fixing it. We let hot inside here. That's the way the man put it right there. Oh, that's me. Let me do it. Let me say it. Do it. Better now. All right. Listen. So, welcome to Glow 93.9. It's time for Barbershop Talk here in beautiful Nassau, Bahamas, and where you listen from wherever in the world on TuneIn Radio. If you're listening by way of your radio, your FM radio on FM band, Glow 93.9. It is 5:35 in the PM on the second day of June, second day of hurricane season. Madam producer, the folks they get spoiled. They would say, "I can't bring it on TV." They said we had TV last time. They're not going to bring it on TV. I don't. I mean, Island TV is a little sharp because that. See what happened is the TV came in handy because you know what, my little sight little off, and they was helping me read the questions. You know, ain't that happening? Huh? Oh.
Powerful.
Okay. So in other words, no TV. I mean, why you gonna say all that attitude? all that attitude really ain't going for. Anyway, so I guess we ain't got no TV today. You know, we really. That's what. That's what y'all think. Y'all think the sport is bleak.
Plenty pressure going on.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. I'm a charge on that.
You have HDMI connection on there?
I guess you should.
We have a lot going on here. Listen, so we're so glad you're tuned in Barbershop Talk. Of course, you know it's Barbershop Talk, and that's how we do it here, gentlemen. Y'all share the link on your personal pages and things of that nature.
Oh, it's powerful.
Let me make sure y'all got the link so you can share it. In studio with us is one proprietor of the spot and sponsor of this show, Mr. Carlo Ramsey. Also glad to have with us Mr. Peter Wilson.
Good day,
and also Mr. Garfield. I thought Mr. Burris stopped wearing this shirt with these people logo on these shirts, man.
Come on, Pastor.
I don't want you to be getting in trouble.
No, all right. Good afternoon, everyone.
You sure you're right?
Yeah, all right.
All right then. All right then.
I can let you know when I
you slip out.
Yeah.
Boy, listen, there's a lot to talk about today. See that I was about to say something. I didn't say it. I should have said. I said Mr. Peter Wilson, the one person we know for sure got fans, and just so said, so done. The first comment on the stream is,
Hi, Peter.
"What do you say, Peter? Not what you say, Peter. What do you say, Pete?"
Oh, okay. Who's that?
That's Kip R. Johnson.
Oh, hey, buddy. You keep listening. Today could be a good one.
Kip. I mean, I don't know. Kip come in hot. Kip come and say, how can I get on the show? Kip, you coming a little hot. I ain't know. I mean, you gotta. I ain't know.
So on Kip, but not yet.
Kip told the line yet? He told the line?
No, Kip told the line. Kip is a good fella.
Barbershop man?
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah. No, you know him.
I know him?
Yeah, you know him.
All right then. All right, because you need license to barbershop license.
Yeah,
to be,
no, you know Kip. You just have to see the picture. Kip ain't got no picture there.
Kip said, "I right here, Bishop." All right. He called Bishop. He got it. Yeah. He let me know I knew him. So. Kip, I apologize, my brother. I humbly apologize, my brother. We were working out. You speak to he said, "You know me, Bishop." I apologize, buddy. I apologize. I humbly apologize. You talk to Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
But we still hot in here. You right. You right, Carlo. We hot. These mics hot. I ain't know how come they so hot. Let me bring them down here.
And the show can get hot, so let's not have the mic hot.
Yeah, we hot bad.
Yeah, we hot bad.
All right, let me see. I try to bring the headphones down, but we hot. We on fire. Oh, that's what it is? All right, thanks. Yeah. All right, that's better. All right, we got a lot going on. What we will not be talking about is the massacre that happened in Phoenix last night. That's not. That's not.
My mic on?
That's the.
I
Yeah.
just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Bucket! I say bucket.
That's not on the agenda.
Hey, Peter. Are you holding up?
Gone in 6.
Hey, it's amazing, boy.
Let's not celebrate yet.
No, we can't celebrate that. We got one part of it.
I just said that's on the agenda. I know this one time, Mr. Taylor's glad he's not here.
But listen to this.
Gone in 6.
But the thing about it is, right, all of a sudden, Braun is the problem from some of these Laker fans. Brawny and this, Brawny and that, Brawny and this, Brawny and that.
Some of the blame.
But you know when they win, they win game 2.
Listen,
it's Braun and 80 this.
Greatness comes.
Braun and 80 that.
I can wait for you.
You know what?
And I can speak.
I realize that Anthony Davis is the team. It's that team. No Anthony Davis, no Lakers.
That's not the facts, but I will.
You know, I don't need to be factual.
No,
I can ride this dub.
you can ride.
I can ride this dub all the way to Thursday.
And I would say,
what people are saying.
And I would say
Thursday. And if we win again,
yeah.
Oh boy, I got you all for it. I don't even care if Portland beat us in the action.
Portland got to get there. Portland ain't going there.
That's true. Eh?
That's a very valid point.
Not Denver team, all right, though.
We could beat them with them. I think we can.
Boy, I know.
I'm not sure about that, but I mean, but if you all do, so be it.
Aiden playing good though. Double.
Yeah, he playing all right.
He playing good against children, but anyway, that's not.
And he playing against 80 for.
Hold on, man. I mean, if we can mention this series, we gotta mention the young man that went to school here in Nassau, Bahamas.
I just say 80.
No, I mean, because I like how Peter responded to that. He didn't really respond to that with any.
You really want me to respond to that? Consider
he responded to that with any sort of deference to our fellow Bahamian man.
What?
Don't start up.
What?
You showed the homage to
I know what. Don't start me up because he more Bahamian than your friend.
The only Bahamian we have in the NBA is Buddy Hield and soon have Kai Jones.
Oh, you gotta stop.
DeAndre knows some Bahamians. You have some Bahamian. You have a Bahamian parent.
Does he have a Bahamian passport?
Can't speak that.
I got speak to that.
If you have a passport, you're a citizen. I'd be scarred for life when that jacket open. I keep when that jacket.
It's amazing when a jacket scar y'all.
When that jacket,
young man.
He have some Bahamian. Aiden has Bahamian ties.
It's amazing how that scar y'all. But when that young man denounces to get another citizenship in another country to go play for national, and that scar y'all.
Who you mean?
Your still calling being.
Oh, Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
No, I had a problem with that.
Who didn't have a problem with that?
Then you all be Mr. No problem.
I had a problem with it.
Yeah, I had a problem with it.
We just let it slide because we were so happy to have somebody.
Yeah. So anyway, but we're not talking about that.
No.
That ain't on the agenda.
No, that ain't on the agenda.
There's too much other hot things going on.
Yeah.
Too much hot things going on to be talking about that right now.
Yeah.
But we do celebrate the young man that. How long was Aiden here in the Bahamas? He born here? Do we know that?
Come on, Rabas.
No, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
As far as I know, he's born here.
What the boy Bahamian man? The boy doing?
Peter, them say different.
He's born, and I think what one of his parents is Nigerian, is Nigerian. The other one is Jamaican, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But he born here.
Yeah.
Man, the boy with us, man.
So, I know the button on the side. Where do you get him over the TV?
No, you're going to side, buddy.
Mr. Aiden is linked to the Bahamas through his adoption by a Bahamian parent. He's a legal Bahamian. I leave it at that.
Digress.
Okay, but that's ours. We hold it. We hold.
You don't claim other. See, that's a dangerous thing y'all doing.
What we do? What we don't?
We don't. We don't. Y'all know what claim actual babies.
What? What?
What are you talking?
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Barbershop Talk. Let me let you know, this is Barbershop Talk, and it is here that we have the conversation that is ongoing in the barbershop. Anyone who's listening for the first time, please be aware this is Barbershop Talk.
No, but it needs to be.
And
we
we
have being
have
facetious.
conversation.
You being facetious.
I'm being
All right.
facetious.
Kip says he born here until like he was 14. That boy Damien, man.
Okay.
Kip, I with you, Kip.
I mean, listen. He's clear. He's clear in the Bahamas, so that's good enough for me. All right. Now I ain't gonna be facetious. But he is, but whatever. He has his Bahamian flag on when he was drafted, and he's known as a Bahamian player in the NBA.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's big for me.
And so, to that extent,
he tried to cast. Oh no, that thing done, but that thing ain't graduate. That ain't graduate. That thing ain't get no leaving certificate.
Why trying to insult?
They tell that TV just go home. That TV just got home. Listen, we don't have a TV. Our TV is not smart.
It's not smart. It's a regular TV.
It is intellectually challenged.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
All right, good. So we have no screen,
Yeah.
but you can see now, so you can help answer questions. You can answer questions and comments as they come on. You can see them now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I okay, yeah.
So now I struggle. All right, and Anvar says,
Here you go, Anvar.
he says, hot show. Is that why no barbers are present?
Oh boy, they got now. They got now.
Friday is holiday.
Yeah, Friday's always so
they wide open.
They wide. They right now they waking.
Yeah, them boys wicked.
Yeah, so we can't it for them. But thanks for that comment, Anvar.
Let me say it. Give me a cut Saturday. I guess you lie.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So what we gonna tackle first? That's nice.
I know you always talking about playing dance before we come on there. Don't go speak just now.
Let's go. Let's deal with the fly first. Let's get it on the ring. Cause that one ain't really hard.
Well, actually, no. Let me bring. If we get on the flag, let me see. I have some guests I want to bring on. I don't know how much I can bring on at one time.
Mm-hmm.
One guest is sitting waiting. I see him in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the other guest. I haven't seen him yet. Madam producer, I don't know if she can hear me. Not a guest going. The one that was in the room going.
All right. Well, while we waiting on them, let's go to the one with which topic the guest you want the guest.
The guest one top of that flag.
All right. So let's go to. So until we get that straight, let's talk about the national.
The debate last night.
I was gonna say national debate, but boy, I don't know.
You gave it a grandiose topic, but making it a national debate, you going pretty heavy this night.
Yeah, I realized after they said it, I was like, well, I don't know if I should call that national.
I had a barber inside. I had one of the barbers in the mall. And he shut him off.
This is powerful.
But it says lies. Tito in the bar. Tito in the mall. Tito by the mall.
Wow.
So you must be by Kentucky then.
That was a spectacle. That was a spectacle last night. An epic abortion.
I can't finish watching. I tried to.
Well, you was busy watching the game.
Yeah. That's what.
Yeah.
Now let me say this. My first challenge with the debate was that certain political parties sent persons there that had very little to any knowledge of their own party's position.
Correct.
I just feel, and I am not speaking anything to their level of intelligence. They probably are intelligent persons, intellectual persons,
but they were out of
brilliant
their service.
people. But my thing is that I say this to them, if they're listening, man, next time don't let them do that to you.
Yeah.
Because the fact that they were reading responses, and some of them look at this reading for the first time.
Yeah.
With no knowledge,
right.
And then one person spoke and said, well, this is out of my area. I don't know much about this.
Right.
You don't say that on no debate.
Yeah. Well, you do if you don't know.
I mean, all right.
So I wondered if that person was saying that with the intent to let you know, I don't know why they send me. So don't say, I wonder if they said it to say, you know what? If that was their disclaimer to say, I don't know what they sent me for.
So let me understand something. What is a debate? So from my knowledge, right? You have the floor, the debatees.
Yeah.
You have the debatees. You have the host. The host asks the questions.
Of supposed to be of
right.
national interest.
Right. They answer the question. They do rebuttals and back and forth and so forth.
Right.
I want to say about 15 minutes. I watch the second question.
Okay.
I watched the second question as far as up to when the gentleman show us the cure for COVID.
Right.
Right. Up to that point, to that question, how much is it, 6 of them or 5 of them?
Yeah.
None. I think one. I think it was the DNA or the BDM. One of those said what their plans was. When I think the question was, do you think traditional campaigning should still go on during COVID? Right? I think only 2 of them answered the question as what their plans were as far as campaigning. I think the PLP did too. As far as campaigning, what measures they're going to take.
Well, that's easy. That was easy question.
But they did. A lot of them didn't answer it. What Mr. B and body name?
The coalition evolution.
He started talking.
I don't know.
He started talking about what the PLP didn't do, what the FNM didn't do, and then the next one started talking about COVID results and COVID this and COVID that. But that wasn't the question.
I think it was. I mean, to be fair, I think in other debates we saw it happen to around the world. I'm not saying it's right, but
that's why I was asking. That's why I was
say
asking.
It's right, but we have seen where persons they get cut off from the previous question.
Right.
So when you bring a new question,
yeah,
no, I can finish my answer.
I still answering the voice.
and I don't have an issue with that.
That's what they typically do. And
I didn't know the first question.
I think there was a lot. I think 2 of them was like, "But I wasn't finished my point."
Right, and I can get to my point.
I can get to my point, but right. Let me do
because that's more. Because that to me that's more important.
Because he's talking about one this and one that.
Yeah, because something was said about it in the earlier question.
In the earlier question,
and I think he was coming back.
Oh, because I just lost it. Like I said,
But the bosses overall, the bosses major point, right? And I agree with him. My only, caveat to add to that would be, I don't think these political parties have a particular ideology on any set of issues anyway.
I know.
So
the question.
To me, the person who said, "Well, that's out my area of expertise," to me that was them personally decided.
I
answer that.
Yeah.
Because
don't put me in this.
Right. Because okay, so if we talk about let's say the budget. Let's say we talk about spending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's no particular on either of these parties. There's no straight line ideology.
No.
On to say, all right,
how we spend it.
Yeah. Okay. Are we opposed to borrowing? Are we not? Like, et cetera, et cetera. So you could get into that debate, but if you want to. But if you say this above your you've chosen. Listen, I get it.
I follow him.
You know why person for the U.S. is supposed to be there, right?
Yeah, but you were sent there. That's what you were sent there.
Yeah, but don't go.
My thing is now.
Yeah, but
then
there's somebody who's answering the question. Like you say, because the bright lady from I think she was from BDM. When she's answering that question, she keep looking down. Let's think did they get the questions in advance? Yeah. They get a question in advance.
They get a range of topics.
Because she keep looking down and like she's talking, like she's giving a speech, like
but you have a general gist of what
she reading and
because
you have a general gist of what they got.
She can read well. I mean, she did read well. But I mean, at the end of the day,
read with someone right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Did you write it though?
But some of them are stuttering.
If you was right, that you don't need to anyway.
Some of them are stuttering.
Yeah, your party performance.
Yeah, your leader is atrocious.
Let me say this. Let me go back to something else too. My thing, how do you all feel? And I know, okay, we can say, boy, if they just show up, they would get destroyed and this and that and the other. Okay, I hear that.
Yeah.
But how do we feel as the Bahamian populace? We have a debate that UB is partnering with.
Right.
So that has a great level of legitimacy to it.
Right.
You know, you can't say there's no mom and pop
operation. It is.
It's legitimized because
no. I agree.
I agree,
Peter.
If UB puts his name on it, to me, it has value. I don't care.
It has no value to me. And
I heard the president endorsed it. The president of UB endorsed it.
That's great. If the president, all right,
that's the president of our tertiary of our highest form of tertiary education in the country. But if they endorse this, that's legitimate. Now, whether you didn't like how it functioned, how it worked, that's something different altogether.
I hope the president listening and make it jump. I hope the president somewhere listening or they will be sent this link. The issue with the president that no one willing to say is you had groups on this stage that have no business being on the stage.
No, hold on. Now I
groups is this?
agree.
Every group that's not named the PLB and the FNM.
I don't understand.
You don't understand? The last 2 general elections, these people ain't get a deposit back. Why all at this stage?
Well, I mean, the PLP sent someone that wasn't even running the next general election.
I would send someone too when y'all allow the states to be there with people from fringe groups.
But you still recognize it.
No, I don't. How?
Because you sent someone to represent.
No, I know.
You sent someone to represent.
That's what I tell you.
Either you in or you went in.
I actually with Tito.
You can't.
I am with
like
Tito. My
blindside
thing
this.
is that if you believe it's legitimate, treat it as legitimate.
Exactly.
If you don't believe it's legitimate,
then don't send.
just don't show no.
I actually respect the FNM more because they send nobody.
I wouldn't have sent no one there either.
And just say, listen, I believe that there are 2 parties with seats inside our assembly,
right?
And I believe that on that basis we should be treated differently,
right?
And we should have our debate. Now you can't have a debate for those third party options for them to have their
they can have a third party
debate, but we believe because of whatever.
Right.
But if you, like Tito said, if you consent to show up, don't insult us like that. To
Exactly.
me, to me, you insulted us who took the time to watch it, and I literally took my gym time where I usually do other things.
Yes.
You could have watched it.
And on top of that, they
I
said
took my whole
they
gym
said
time and
information
watched
as well, so they was prepared. It wasn't like they wasn't prepared. Now they might have been bad readers or whatever because they stuttering or nervous.
But
they sent information.
Plenty of them stuttering.
So they like they didn't send information.
See the debate. Let's be honest.
Hold on, what the 3 questions was?
No, for you, 3 questions. Let's get to that.
I can pause this because I don't know how long I have I was going to do one by one, right? But I got both of these gentlemen here now.
I'll bring them in then.
Now I plan to have Devin first, Ambassador Devin, and then Pastor Mario. But both of them are on now, and I don't know their agendas alike. So I don't want to lose them here.
No, let's get them out of the way.
You can't say the gentleman, you can get them out of the way, man.
No, I'm saying get them out of the way. They big time.
Rephrase that, man.
Listen.
Let's make them a priority right now.
The gentleman don't have the time to be sitting there just lollygagging. Let's get them out of the way.
Let's make them a priority right now.
They know they only have 10, 15 minutes to fool around with us. Let's prioritize
them right now.
See the laughing? You know what I talk about? He got something to do.
All right. So, thank you for rephrasing that, Peter. So on screen now, I think we got both Ambassador Devin Roll and we have Pastor Mario Moxie. Brethren, welcome to Brethren.
Devin Roll is any relation to you?
That's my oldest brother.
You gotta be simple. Listen, man, calm down, man.
He was being facetious, Mr.
Come on, man.
Let me make sure I get some balance checks. Ambassador, let's talk about what you get.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
All right, good. We got you good, loud and clear. Pastor Mario.
Cool. Hello, everyone.
Good day.
Good day.
It's good to be on the Barbershop Talk.
I hope
you don't need no barbershop.
Pastor Mario, I don't want you to get yourself in trouble in there. Be careful. Pastor trying to set you all up. Y'all be careful.
All right. Before I ain't gonna let the pastor share first. I ain't gonna let the barbershop share first. Barbershop, the Christian Council put a release out concerning a colorful flag that was hung outside of the U.S. Embassy. I think it was yesterday. Brethren, how y'all feel before I let the pastors them chime in? Because I don't want y'all let the pastors them spray y'all. Because I don't want y'all get light. Y'all gonna switch on me and get light because pastors them inside the room.
But are y'all looking at me? You all scared? You want me to go first?
Yeah, man. You want to talk about this all day?
Yeah.
You've been talking about it
all day.
Go ahead, man.
I have no problem with the. That's mine. I have no problem with the Christian Council would have said. I have no problem with them outlining their beliefs and values and what our Constitution states are our beliefs and values. I have no problem with what the United States Embassy did either, because that's what their beliefs and their values are in that country. Mm-hmm. And I think it is important for each country to outline what they believe. Interestingly enough, the government has I've yet to hear one, a particular response to any of
Which
this.
one? Has had? Which one do you give it?
I give it all. Because I only hear silence. I hear silence from the government. I don't hear silence from the opposition. I don't hear anyone say anything.
I mean, you expect expecting something from them?
Oh yes, I expected something.
But he ain't been saying nothing.
The major Christian organization groups, the Christian Council in your country, issue a statement about the flag raising ceremony, or not ceremony, but the flag raising, or the homosexual flag in the United States. The United States was promoting homosexuality, etc., etc. What does the PLP believe? What does the FNM, who's the government, believe? Like, is that something you? Because we didn't raise the flag. So,
but all right, this is my view, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, I respect the Christian Council and what they did,
right?
And I feel like if the United States do their thing, that really got nothing to do with me,
right?
That's their thing. They decide that they can raise their flag and they want to have pride this and pride that or whatever else.
Right.
Far as I know, that's the United States property. That's their land.
That's their domain.
That's their domain.
Right.
When you go to the United States and you see that, it's the same thing. Yes, they in our country, but as far as how it is, the jurisdiction is United States property. When you go outside line in the airport, in between going upstairs, that little boot, you in the United States.
Right.
You responsible. Anything they tell you, you gotta do.
Okay.
If they decide to raise that flag for pride or whatever it is, that on them.
Right.
Now, if the government want to say something, they should, or they
shouldn't. The government say something?
I don't think. Let me tell you why. I don't think they should. I don't think they would. I don't think they should, nor they would.
I confused with that. Why need that? That's private property.
That's like you telling your neighbor he gone of his dog.
Okay, so the first, let's see now. Y'all don't be the blessings. The flag was raised because it was a day,
right?
On Monday,
it's a month.
So either we acknowledging the month as the Bahamas government, or we saying the month don't exist in the Bahamas.
But we ain't acknowledging it. We ain't acknowledging it because we ain't raised no flag.
And that is the point. So the Christian Council, who saw the flag being raised in the country, basically draw the line in the sand and basically letting the U.S. Embassy know our biblical principles. That's where the Christian Council stand. Now, either the government supports that particular policy, the government are in opposition, or they don't. And that's the question that needs to be asked to them. Do you support the Christian Council position? See, you can't hide behind the fucking...
Hold on. But then we said the argument that day, church and state.
Oh, there's no separation, sir.
And you always say that. So I don't know where you going with that.
There's no separation, sir.
All right, we getting warm now. Let me bring one of these reverend in.
Right.
Ambassador Devin, I can start with you.
Well, I would yield to the vice president of the council to back his national position that has been released.
Well,
but I wanted to give the vice president the final say, not the final say, but to go. Because I don't know if you want to talk after the vice president. You may say, boy, I don't want to talk after the vice president.
No, I'm only here to fill in the spaces that he allows.
Pastor Mario, go ahead. If you buy what he said, go ahead. Go ahead, Pastor Mario.
I do, because I understand for all of us, there's a lot of protocol in our lives, and so I do understand that. So I appreciate that, Ambassador.
Yes, sir.
The Christian Council, the president of the Christian Council, has issued this statement. I think it's a very powerful statement. There is no ambiguity in terms of where the position of the Bahamas Christian Council is on this issue. It is important to understand the motives behind a flag raising. I think all of us are aware of the fact that every embassy is the sovereign property of the nation of which they are representing. And you're completely correct. They have the right to do whatever they want to do on that embassy. In this instance, though, this is more than just raising of a flag on the embassy premises. There is a statement that accompanied this. I don't know if you were privy to the interview that was given on yesterday morning on Morning Blend with Dwight Strawn, but it's clear that this is part of the Biden's administration, and it's their intent to evangelize the world with the dogma of homosexuality. And so it's on that ground that not only us in the Bahamas, but globally, people around the world are protesting this and seeing it as something very offensive. From the Catholic Church, for the Vatican, the term that they use as that's thoroughly disgust. There's a quote here I want to use, and this is coming from the Catholic. It says it's regrettable an action typical of the current American administration's hostility to authentic Catholicism. What is most troubling is that the minions of the Democratic Party now feel comfortable in giving the proverbial finger to the Vatican. And that's a very strong language to use. And the point here is this: we have to see this as this is a social war that we're fighting right now. And this is more than just the raising of a flag on embassy property. This is the United States government imposing their will and influencing other nations to come alongside a position that they know is offensive in so many nations. Yet it doesn't stop them from doing that. So this is more than just raising a flag on a piece of private property. This is about sending a banner to everyone and saying, listen, this is what we believe. This is what we want you to believe, and accept this because this is what we believe is truth. And that's not fair. We also have to bear in mind that there is history to this. This is not a one-time incident. What we see happening here is something that has been in the works during the Obama administration, when President Biden, who was vice president at the time, made a statement to Caribbean leaders. This is not global leaders, but Caribbean leaders, that the LGBTQ values trump their local norms and traditions. And those values must be higher than the customs and the traditions that we esteem in our very own countries. So this is really an imposition. And if we don't make a stand on this, it begins to snowball. And we don't know to what degree and that this will be leveraged in our country. So today it's a social war. Tomorrow it can be a political war.
You mentioned that there was is there a statement that you said accompanied the whole
the statement is the interview. I can forward you the interview that the representative from the embassy in Nassau had with Dwight Strawn. I can forward that to you now, actually.
Okay, yeah, because I missed that. So what was the whole context of it was the actual evangelism of this agenda, pushing this.
Well, you can listen to the interview and determine that for yourself. I don't want to prejudice the.
Okay,
the
I got you. Ambassador.
Yes, sir.
Chime in. What's your 5 cents on that?
Well, thank you so much for having.
Is he playing it now? Is he playing?
No. I can't play it if you want me to. I just wanted to make sure that was the right one I was forwarding to.
Let me. I got to confirm my production team whether we can play it first before I can do that. So let me.
I sent it to you so they can vet it.
Right. Excellent.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, I stand by everything Pastor Moxie just said just now. I think he expressed it very eloquently. I didn't hear the interview on the radio show, but I heard that an interview was done that sought to give teeth to the whole raising of the flag. So that was clearly a position that they were forwarding in a national space. I wrote something here on embassy and diplomatic relations. The presence of an embassy and its ambassador in a nation usually means that relations between both countries are friendly or at least cordial. We don't have to agree on every single issue. However, for the preservation of good relations, we must respect each other's beliefs, values, and philosophy enough to coexist geographically. And I would think the greater weight in terms of maintaining that relationship, in terms of in that national space, is on the embassy, because the embassy is a guest within a sovereign territory. So do they have the right, legal right to do certain things as an embassy within a nation? Of course they do. But when your agenda turns to an open display of a particular viewpoint, that impacts the atmosphere, the philosophy of that national jurisdiction, I think you've crossed the line. And to speak to what he mentioned about Obama and what Biden under the Obama reign, in terms of what Biden said, even before that, Hillary Clinton in her run said that she believed that nations that didn't join in with the LGBTQI agenda should be relationships between them and the United States should be terminated. And I was shocked out of my mind to hear her make such a statement. So clearly there are certain themes that are going on, and I want to salute the Christian Council for making an immediate statement. Because the statement that we made wasn't necessarily so much in my opinion, I mean, and the Vice President can correct me if I'm wrong. The statement wasn't so much to the U.S. That statement that was made was to us as a people. We were fortifying our position. Don't be sidetracked by what you see the U.S. Embassy advancing in terms of their cause or their beliefs. The Bahamas, we have a philosophical position, and we believe in the supremacy of God, the rule of law, and Christian principles. And so it was the duty of the council to reaffirm our position, lest our people be led astray.
I was in a conversation in the gym today.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about what's out there in social media,
mm-hmm.
the responses of Bahamians to this. And I know, of course, on the one side, we as preachers, we cannot be dictated to by whatever's out there, what they say, what the people say. However, I found it interesting that of the comments that I found, and other persons in the gym shared it, that the comments that is inundating social media, for whatever reason, it could be that the other people, just people who feel and support the Christian Council, probably just more silent. But the conversations on social media, I can say I saw tens, there could be hundreds, are in support of the U.S.'s position from Bahamians, and not in support of the Christian Council's position. Many are lambasting the Christian Council. And of course, Pastor Mara is very familiar with this argument. Where y'all come from now, y'all don't speak about this. Y'all don't speak about incest, and y'all don't speak about violence in communities and this and that. And all of a sudden, y'all coming in now. And there was just this, on the one side, just this disdain for the Christian Council. And on the other side, there was this support of, I don't know why you don't leave these people alone. They ain't bothering nobody. And it is what it is, all this kind of good stuff. And I say this because let me capture it with this. When we make those statements about how our country doesn't support this, I'm wondering now, is the tide changing? Because we speak saying that this country, we don't support this lifestyle, this and that and the other. And is the tide shifting? And are we seeing the balance tip?
If you log on to any TV station, any movie, any show, it's becoming more and more, I use the word normal, to see same-sex interactions in almost any show.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And without, you ask a question, and I answer the question based on just knowing that they raised the flag.
Right.
Not knowing the history, the information behind it.
Right.
According to Pastor Moxie.
Yeah.
I am not one I don't support forcing your beliefs on individuals, no matter what the beliefs are. Maybe the LGBTQ, Christianity, or the people that don't believe in God. But if that's your belief, that's your belief. I don't believe we should force that on anybody. So with that said, I mean, it's I don't know if it's becoming more accepted or because it's now so out there that some people might just say, they just throw your hands up and
it is what it is.
It is what it is, kind of thing. Not saying that they support it or not saying they really solely accept it, but it's there. And what could I do besides, I guess, stay in my corner, do my thing, and deal with what I deal with, support what I support, like what I like, and let them do what they do.
Then so,
yeah.
if I may. Okay, I know this is Glory's interpretation of a secular show, but let me try to make this as clear as possible from a spiritual standpoint.
Go ahead.
You can't come to dinner to my house and tell me what prayer we're gonna say before we eat, and rearrange my front room chairs, and tell me which part of the meal we should serve first.
Right.
We're guests, we respect each other, but when you come into my house, you should have an overarching respect for my rules in terms of what we do in my home. Agreed?
Agreed.
That is the same way that nations are supposed to interact when it comes to international relations, international politics. If you're in somebody's national space, you ought to show respect for that space that you're in. And so we don't even have to get into the argument on whether the gays have their right to be gay, who should be forcing what. No, we're saying in our territory, we have made it clear what we believe. And as a matter of fact, when you send an ambassador into a territory to have representation, you are supposed to study the constitution of that place and know its politics and know its affairs. And though you have an agenda, your agenda is to be carried out with a view to not cross any of their national or legalistic lines. And again, with the interview tied to the flag that Pastor Moxie referred to, a diplomatic line, I feel, was crossed.
Let me say this, Devin. Using that same argument used about the house, talking about your house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about coming to your house, you said these are the rules of my house. When you establish the rules, let's call that the Constitution. Let's call it the preamble.
Mm-hmm.
Abiding respect for Christian principle, whatever the case is. But when I come to your house, I see you totally discard everything that you have inside your Constitution. All the rules you told me that was going to be in your house, you are compromising and saying, man, everything cool. Because you told me when I come in here, no shoes on the table, no feet on the table, don't sit on the chair handle. When I get in there, you sit on the chair handle and say, man, go ahead, man, you're okay, sit on the chair handle. So when you have compromised, and that was the gist of my question. I heard what Carlos' comment was, but my question is, are we standing by this posture that is promoted by the Christian Council, and it's on the basis of our Constitution and the strong consistency of the church? But I'm saying, is this supported by the masses the way it was supported by the masses?
Listen, you don't have to debate that, if I can answer that question. We had just in recent times a national referendum on equality, and the basis of that was same-sex marriage. The Bahamian people unanimously voted against that. This is not an issue that we don't know where the Bahamian people are at. This is an issue where the Bahamian people have spoken very clearly. Until such time as there is another referendum, we don't have to guess. All we need to do is refer to that referendum and says, you know what? That's a pretty clear message of where the Bahamian people stand on this. This, social media, not every Bahamian uses social media, so it's a poor litmus test to determine whether or not the majority of people in this country feel a certain way about LGBTQ. So let's not take this in a direction where it's unnecessary when we have the evidence in front of us.
Can I add to that?
Of course you can.
Okay, so
I disappointed my barbershop crew. They when they see preachers, they get scared. I don't know what's going on. They get light.
But
they get light.
No,
They're listening to facts.
You fact checking them.
I fact checking
All right. They fact checking you all.
I fact checking something.
That's cool. That's cool.
I've learned this in my life that he, with an argument, is always at the mercy of he with facts.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Everything we've said right now has been fact based, and so you can take the emotions out of it, of whether or not we feel a certain way. We don't even have to go there. Just look at the facts.
Right.
Right.
Well, I wanted to go to one of my old references I used to use a lot on the radio. I used to say that I think I like to look at the nation as having two parents, the church and the government. And in this case, and rightly so. The church represents the saved parent, whoever, male or female. Now, and the church's duty is to defend the moral gates and guard of the nation. The church's duty is not to reflect the majority. The church's role is to be the watchman and the guard of the morality of the nation. And I threw this out there a long time ago. The idea of a Christian council in the Bahamas was not codified or presented by the church. It was presented by the government. When we formed as a nation, the government said, we're going to establish, we need to put this in there to make sure these righteous men and women upheld the morality and guard the gates of our country. So, and again, that's why I applaud the Christian Council. Let me add this too. I want to applaud, I don't usually say this, the Guardian. I was shocked when I saw that the Guardian put the Christian Council's position right next to the announcement of the flag raising of the embassy. That gave persons a fair opportunity to see both sides of the spectrum. I would have liked, however, to hear the other parent speak now, which is the government, to clearly state what our position is nationally.
Impossible.
Go ahead, Peter.
They can't do that. And the reason why they can't do it, pastors, is because the Bahamians need a civics lesson. I think this whole country needs a civics lesson. That's the first thing. Because Bahamians need to learn the actual Bahamians need to learn the Constitution and what is in the Constitution. Because a lot of them would be, you pastors would be amazed by what persons in social media think exists in the Constitution and what actually exists. And the rights that they think they have that they actually do not have. And one of those rights are, you can, in this country, discriminate against someone for sexual, gender, and sexual orientation. You can. People don't believe you can, but you can. And that is in the Constitution. And it has not been removed. And it has not been removed intentionally. Okay? The last time an issue like this came up, I think it was in 2006. The government at the time was the PLP. And the UN, they were doing some UN agenda involving some gay agenda. We were supposed to make a statement and give some whatever, and that was pushed completely out of the way. And as the pastor say, the last time an issue close to this was brought up was during our last referendum, because you needed to change the Constitution to amend certain laws. The Bahamian people unanimously rejected. The Bahamian people unanimously rejected the government's position, by the way. Because in order to push a referendum, the government has to come out with a position.
Correct. In our country, I wasn't sure if I heard you correctly. You cannot discriminate against gender. That is against the law to discriminate against gender.
Gender identity, sorry. I should have said gender identity.
Correct. That's okay.
See, there's a difference between gender and gender identity.
There's a difference between gender and gender identity, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get a couple of comments here. One comment says it is rare that the Catholic Church would use that type of language when they have a history of being very offensive on many different fronts, whether it is socially, politically, or racially. But I think for the commenter, I think you have to listen to the context of what they were saying, based on that being the embassy in what's it called, the Holy See? Yeah. All right. Let me get another comment here. Bishop, the tide has changed. We as a society have been influenced by what we see on social media and TV. Like Carlos said, it is the norm. It is accepted. I would also say that the supporters of pro-LGBTQ are more vocal and anti.
They can be more vocal and anti. It's accepted in the United States. See, again.
What? You watch the program. You skip that.
Let me get one more comment. This is one. This person says, I do disagree with Pastor Moxie. Most Bahamians use social media. I am chiming in via social media networks, and he himself does it. I think it is a great litmus test to what and how the society feels. You want to come back at that, Pastor Mario?
like I said, most of society do not use social media.
Correct.
And here's a principle that all of us are very much familiar with. The squeakiest wheel always get the most oil. All you have to do is make a lot of noise, and it seems as though the majority of persons are speaking, when in actuality, it's only one or two or three persons. The greatest test of this came when there was this was a little, I'll give you some history way back. I'm trying to remember the author. Kingsley was the author. It was a psychologist. What he said was one out of 10 Americans are homosexuals. This was back in the 1970s, 80s, around that time. And in actuality, that was so far from the truth. It was not even 1%. But when questioned about it and challenged on it years later, he said it was just a good number to say, 1 out of 10. It was just good. It had a good ring to it. But right. it was lies. And this is the same type of lies that are constantly being perpetrated on society, where we spill out these things and because we spew it out somehow in our mind, in our psyche, we're looking at social media, not realizing that we're living in a bubble when we're in social media. So much so that, and this is, again, just do some research on this. When you have a certain philosophical view, everything that is fed to you in social media is along that same trend.
Algorithm.
That those algorithms work in that manner. So you can live in a bubble and think, oh my goodness, the whole world think the way that I think. And in actuality, that's not even true. And that's just the way big money works. They create algorithms to get us to think certain ways. We all familiar with the fact that how that can swing elections because it's the psychology of people. We always want to be on the side of the majority. And so I don't buy it that when we say, because it's on social media and I'm on social media, of course I'm on social media, but I'm not that naive to believe that every voice in social media represents a certain percentage of society. I don't buy it. So that's all I want to share about that.
Got you. Let me I find myself on this show and in other settings defending this point often, since I have Pastor Mario here and Ambassador as well. I want to bring this up here. This is constantly said, and it is so far from the truth. I defended ad nauseum, but let me give Pastor Mario a chance to speak to it. This is what it said: the Christian Council only speak when it comes to gays. Oh, yeah. Whenever you see gay people, the thing about the LGBTQ, that's the only time you ever with the Christian Council. Where they come from now with this press release, right? Now all of a sudden they want to do press release.
No, that's a fair point.
Where they come from?
That's a fair point.
Oh, you agree with that?
100%.
See, all right. So we have somebody. Anybody else in the group?
Not even 100%. 1,000%. I agree.
You agree with that? Where the Christian Council speak? What? Carl, how you feel? You agree with that too?
I'm on the fence. I mean, this is why I'm on the fence. It's similar to. Well, I'll go off topic, but I'm on the fence. That's why I said it. Based on what Rule said. Right. The duties of the Christian Council is to withhold the morals and the standards of the country. Right. They were assigned by the government. So not everything deserves a statement.
Excellent. I'm glad it's
right? In my opinion,
I'm glad it's a talk.
Right?
Excellent.
Not everything deserves a press release.
Okay.
Now they could reach out to the powers that be or whatever the situation, have a conversation with them. So let's say it's me and whatever. I say, okay, well, I need to sit down. We'd have a meeting with you and your party, whatever it is, to discuss what was said. Right? And then they come back and say, okay, let's just say the Christian Council's met with party B or whatever the situation is, and it was able to come to some agreement as it relates to X, Y, Z.
Okay.
Not, I guess that's just my opinion. Not everything deserves a press release.
No?
That's why that's just my opinion.
It is about morality?
That's my opinion.
Okay.
But not everything that the Christian Council touch is about morality.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think is a more prevalent moral issue in the country at this present time? The raising of a flag on the United States Embassy compound, or the marijuana bill being proposed in the House Assembly? Or forget that. The shanty towns being pushed down by the government. Is that a moral issue?
Right.
Let me answer. Let me jump in if I can.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I said enough for you to jump in. That's what
that was a setup.
I just hope me and you agree, Pastor Mario, because I be in defense. I hope you don't come in and do defense.
Human rights immoral?
Yes, but human rights is moral. How is human rights not moral now?
Here's the situation. Not every issue is dealt with publicly. That's the first thing we have to bear in mind.
Say it again, Pastor Mario, because they was talking. I'll make sure they had it. Say that again for me.
Not every issue is dealt with publicly.
Pastor Mario, you said
But see, that's what I was saying.
Y'all let Pastor Mario.
Go ahead, Pastor Mario.
He ain't in the room. He ain't in the room.
Go ahead,
I'll give you a case in point. Persons talk about the incident that happened at school. Where was the Christian Council? Well, the Christian Council was very much involved in that process. As it's persons have very selective memories, I think sometimes, but I think that's also intentional. I think in areas where they do not want the Christian Council to speak, this argument comes up. The Christian Council doesn't speak on all the issues, and that's not entirely true. The Christian Council do speak to a number of issues. A lot of conversations happen off the record. And I just want you to think about this for a second. If it is possible for the Christian Council to do its work behind the scenes without the public being aware of what's going on, I think that's a great credit. See, one of the things is sometimes, and this is where we have a little bit of scripture coming into play, in the sense of when we make a statement, it's not necessary to shout it from the mountaintop and beat on our chest and say, look here, this is what we're doing this, we're doing that over there. And because what y'all don't know is that, we stop something from happening in some matter. It's not legislation because we prevent that. We beat on our chest about all that stuff. None of that's necessary. I can tell you that there are a number of things that happen behind the scene that the Joe Blow and the public will never know. And rightfully so. I hope that never changes with the council, that the council never feels the pressure to broadcast everything that it's doing. That's the one point. That point is important to me personally. And so that's the only point I'll lay on the table. Not everything that we do, we broadcast. And I hope that we never change that.
Pastor Mario, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
This Barbershop Talk, so I can't let you slide on that, Pastor Mario. And I'll tell you why I can't let you slide. It's because certain issues of national importance. The reason why people say the Christian Council is silent is because it seems to persons who waiting on the Christian Council to be as vocal on certain issues with them, helping them bring certain issues to the forefront. It seems that the Christian Council is willing to have these conversations behind the scenes, but it seems like in certain conversations, like for example, because it always seems to happen, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it always seems to happen when it comes to homosexuality, that there's a firm line the Christian Council seems to take. But in an issue like, as we say, let's one of the big issues of the day, we'll be talking about the Shantytown issue, right? What is the Christian Council's? See, I don't even want to put you on the spot to say that.
No, you can ask the question, because I can answer any question you ask. I always tell the congregation that I can answer any question you ask in 3 words. I don't know. so don't be afraid to ask the question. You can't put me on the spot.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to do that to you because so the issue of the Shanty Towns, because there are persons who want to agree with the government's position, saying basically the government is only upholding the law, right? Then there are persons who want to object to the government's position, saying yes, but the humane thing, the godly thing, the Christian thing to do would be to move in X.
So Peter, let me chime in.
So
right?
what's the conclusion? No, you didn't finish your thought. What's the end of your thought?
So what we want to know is what the Christian Council's position on that.
Because we ain't sure.
Right. Because we ain't sure. So we ain't sure as the people outside. Okay, well, these are my moral leaders, right? Sometimes I follow their positions. If they come and tell me, hey, the government must follow the law of the land in every case, then I would feel more sympathetic to the government position, saying, okay, the government following the law. But if they come and tell me, man, yeah, but the government following law. But there's ways to go about this more humanely, more in Christ-like. Then I would also say, I'd say, hey, government, y'all need to slow down. Yeah, we won't follow the law, but what y'all doing is wrong.
Hold on.
But
you being duplicitous.
Am I?
He's not.
Yeah, but that's why you being duplicitous because
Good
you don't
time.
want the shanty dance there anyhow. You don't want them there.
That's me.
Yeah, that's why I say you being
That's
duplicitous.
me.
Yeah,
So
but that's a point.
But Peter.
But I don't want the gay flag raised either.
Yeah, but all right. Here's my
Right.
position, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't speak on behalf of the Christian Council.
Right.
I don't have no authority to speak on behalf of the Christian
Right.
Council. Let's put it on there. But how we know
Uh-huh.
that they're not the conversation about that be? Why does why does the Christian Council have to? All right, that's hold on.
No, follow the thought. Follow the thought. Why does the Christian?
All right. So if the Christian Council,
Yes, sir.
every time they do XYZ,
Right.
in the words of Mr. Moxie, they
Right.
stand to the mountaintop and they beat their chest and they say, I do this today, we do this today, we do this yesterday, we do this the day before, we do this 3 o'clock a day and 5 o'clock we doing something else. Then I'll say, but gee whiz, every time you listen to the Christian Council talk about what they doing, it's almost like it's a catch-22. They can't win, and they can't win or they can't lose. If they don't say, it's a problem. If they do say too much, they're talking too much. So I was a win for them.
But who said they talking too much?
That we can't please be image.
Social media.
Because the minute they
Nah,
start
we go back to
you create.
Let Burroughs get in the birds.
So then you go back to Pastor Mario point. Pastor Mario say everyone here on social media. But my thing is, they are too quiet. I agree with Peter.
Yes.
You can't speak on one issue and then leave all. And I understand that behind the scenes you working and you doing stuff, but like Pastor say, no, well, I wouldn't say that. We dealing with some petty people, so you got to deal with petty people accordingly.
But that's the same thing I say though, because if they come out and they talk, all right, if they now be honest now, if the Christian Council talk about everything they do,
You don't want to do this.
every day,
You don't want to do this.
you think, but
No,
you
not
may say,
every, not
yeah,
every,
that's
no,
my thing.
no. What I'm saying,
All right, so name the things they should talk about that. Name the things that they should say they talk
major
about.
issues.
All the important stuff.
All the major
Everything
issues.
the Christian Council touch should be important.
No, Shantytown's important.
Everything the Christian Council sit down to discuss as a board should be important.
What he's saying is, Shantytown's important. Raising the gay flag's important. Crime on the streets important. Any sexual immorality.
You want me to do this? You want me to do this to you?
Go ahead. The loud stuff in the paper.
Hold on. Let me. I watch it. Ambassador sit here. He want to see that. I am sitting here. Where Ambassador? I want to.
But yeah, as always is the case when it comes to these moral issues, what usually happens is the whole thing gets turned on the Christian Council, and I think it's kind of unfair, but I understand why it happens. People really still in this country don't understand the Christian Council, its makeup, and its responsibility. The Christian Council represents, whether all of them are members or not, the Church of the Bahamas. So there is no amount of platforms that can actually contain all of the work that the Christian Council or the church that it represents is doing in the nation. Because any church that carries the name of Christ is a part of that entity in terms of the work and responsibility that it is doing. But
as we made that point, and I my friend Pastor Mario didn't make that point, man. But thanks.
And so, yeah, let me add on to this about the Shanty. Well, and I was going to jump in and say the things and that the Christian Council has been over the years addressing, and all of them begin with G, by the way: gays, gambling, ganja, guns, gangs, governmental abuse. That's a lot.
Hold on, do that again. That's a strong list. Let me get it. Do it again.
Gays, gambling, ganja, guns, gangs, governmental abuse.
I didn't call Solomon.
But here's what I want to say. The Shantytown issue, and Pastor Moxie can say from a board perspective what is being discussed. The Shantytown issue, and what I'm saying is very weighty, possibly even dangerous, is a very serious issue because the government for years has allowed substandard living situations to exist. And we just had what the United Nations Secretary called it, category hellstorm that took possibly thousands of lives that we will never know who all died. And the government, possibly in the future, if we don't deal with this issue, someone could very easily bring a case against them to say, you allowed my family member to live in this condition in your country and didn't seek to address it. The shantytown issue, because we weigh in the saying there's been abuse, taking out the homes or taking people out of there. No, we need to deal with that situation. We can't be living in a hurricane zone and willy-nilly allow people to live in those conditions when their life can be threatened in any given week or month. That's my 5 cents personally. That's not Christian Council. That's me.
I just going to tell you that. I'm not telling you that. I'm going to ask you that. But that's your part. What I would venture to guess, and this is where Mr. Ramsey, this is for you. Any major what's the LBG? What is?
LGBTQ.
Right. Yeah. Event, function, any major thing in this Bahamas. The Christian Council, they post that whatever event they doing, days, weeks, month, Christian Council firm statement out there. You check it. You go look at it. Parades, government grant them, cruise ship thing. There's always a statement. Am I being facetious, or do you all feel that way?
Let me I can because I know Pastor Murray got to go in 2 minutes. Let me get him in before, but I will say this, and I will read this comment from Delton. I have some other comments here, but I have to put this comment from Delton. Then I can because Delton is a shared member between me and Pastor Mario. And actually, I know Pastor Kenneth.
Hey, leave my good member alone now.
That's our producer. Delton says this. Delton says, from my experience with working with the council before, the media decides which report/statement is publicized and put to the front from the Bahamas Christian Council. And that's the statement that I've been echoing that for a long time.
I let you
kept on saying that there are tons of statements.
I let you get rid of that.
There are statements that are pushed out.
You don't smile. I know why you smile. I let you get rid of that.
That statement, the statement that now is on the front page today, there have been tons of other statements that were put out the same exact way.
I let you get rid of that.
And the media decides, okay, this one hot, this one sweet. We can push this one way out front. This one ain't that hot and that sweet, so we can leave it alone.
They can put it in the middle of the paper.
So,
Pastor Mary gotta go soon. Let him talk. Go, Pastor Mary, you gotta go.
Because I let you get rid of that. No, I can let you all get rid of that. No.
Pastor Mary, let's get rid of that. Go ahead, and I don't know before you go.
I just want to thank you for allowing me space in the barbershop today. I didn't need too much of a haircut. But it was good sitting among the brethren and having this conversation. I do want to say that the embassy raising the flag and the statement by the Bahamas Christian Council is a very serious matter, because this can easily be perceived as a preemptive strike for a much greater agenda and a greater plan. And we sometimes don't see the cancer when it starts at a very small space, and there is this propensity for society, and I know a lot of persons don't feel that this could ever happen, but who would have ever thought that we would see the day when boys would be able to compete in sports against girls and it'd be sanctioned by a government, much less the government of the United States. We never thought that would have been possible, but here we are today. So what starts off to be something very small has the potential of growing into something so big that we become victims in our own societies. Why? Because we decide that we're going to be heterosexuals. And I just want us to process that this issue is much bigger than any of us could ever imagine. And we need to be very vigilant with this issue. Thank you, guys. It was great chatting with you. And we got to do this again sometimes. And you know, not when I'm remote someplace, but I'd sure like to be there so we can laugh and spit on each other.
Man, my brother, I appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for coming out. I know you got a full schedule, and we can take you
one guys.
All right,
Ambassador.
Ambassador Devon. So you left with the brethren.
Yeah, you have to release me too.
No.
no. Yeah, man, let you go. I ain't letting you go.
You was gonna jump on me, Peter, but my problem. Go ahead and jump on me now.
Right. No, your point is, but I let you, Tito.
That
You always
feedback.
saying-
That feedback. So,
Yeah.
feedback.
So I was saying that you saying the media chooses what they want to put out there. My thing is, if my small little barbershop, but they ain't got much money, could go on social media and advertise my little spot. When it comes to certain issues, the Christian Council could do the same thing.
Absolutely.
But they are social media.
Boy, but they need to start advertising.
But then y'all the same ones just talk about algorithms.
You was watch.
Y'all
You
just
was
talk about
watch. You
algorithms.
was follow
So
Christian Council.
when they
No,
get
but
to
you
your
can pay
stuff,
for paid advertisement.
Do you follow the Christian Council?
Y'all have a press secretary. Y'all have a press
Do
secretary.
you follow the
I
Christian
don't
Council?
follow the F&M nor the PLP in the general election. But when I turn on YouTube, the commercial is come on every single time, disturbing me from watching what I watch.
Correct.
Don't believe. Don't say
You gotta pay for the YouTube without
No, 1
You
second.
pay for the
Just
advertisement,
the
bro.
Christian Council have a press secretary.
the vice president is gone, so we can answer that question.
Oh, y'all
Don't do that.
I don't know.
But you need to know because listen, let me know what they're doing. Just how the enemy is just sliding in there. We gotta start sliding on in there too. Because we still want to see them stuff on TV, but they show them draw you in, and then all of a sudden, bam, gotcha.
Like again, I told you,
So you gotta do the same thing.
I personally me, what you do in your bedroom is your business. But not only don't force it me, I live in the Bahamas. I believe in my constitution. If you all wanted the constitution to change, you all should have gone out there and voted for it. You all didn't. Same thing. Remember during old gambling debate. Remember what I said? I said I like to gamble. Me personally, it's me. But I said the problem is those who like to gamble. Remember I said they're not going out there to go there to stand in line to vote to gamble. So I say do not complain.
No,
Do
Peter,
not complain.
on that one bill, the government's a little tricky because they didn't separate it. They try to tie all that.
They're not
into one.
separated. They clearly outlined what they wanted. The
Yeah,
Bahamian
but
people,
when you vote no to one, you know
the
vote no to all.
Bahamian people did not want that.
I agree, but they should have still separated.
The fact that it had to be changed in the referendum tells you initially they didn't want it. So back when the Constitution was being created, they didn't want it.
I know what I believe they thought that we could say yes to gambling. And so when they slide them other stuff on the back end, when you said yes to gambling, the rest would have passed.
Well, obviously they thought it was clear that they thought we was going to say yes to
so they
gambling.
thought they was going to pull the rest up.
I was under the belief that gambling was going to be a no because when the church said no, I know it was going down in flames.
Well,
but I mean that's separate.
I think I wanted to say this with Pastor Mario here because Carlo just mentioned it, and obviously it seems as though Devon Ambassador had access to this information. I didn't know that there was an agenda. Of course, we know the agenda, but I don't know it was verbalized.
What, from the Biden administration?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
No, I don't. But with this flag day,
with the flag day.
and what was said this morning. Yeah. So what I'm saying to say this. Now I know the agenda because I didn't, but
me and you, we've had this conversation.
Of course. Yeah. But my thing is that I now wish, like, be honest, I now wish that was somewhere addressed in the communication as well. Because just now that brought a lot of elucidation and even silenced Carlo.
But
because Carlo's on the middle, but when he heard what went along with it,
but you had a bunch of a different perspective,
right? Which should draw out, which I said to you from the start, which should draw out the government and the opposition to come forward.
Now I agree with that.
That's like to give positions, but they will not.
No, they won't.
Neither of them will.
They won't. Because they don't want march no corn.
You think they know what's going on?
Who don't know?
Yeah, they don't want. I think that thing is,
sir.
They don't want marsh corn,
sir.
Let me pull on the next side of Ambassador Devon because I know him personally for a little while. I have a pretty good relationship with him. In addition to being the preacher, he is also he also has a degree in law and political science. So I can pull on him from a law and political science standpoint. What can our government say to the U.S. in this scenario? Because I mean, Peter Demmer mentioned the fact that the government ain't saying nothing. What can they do, and how can they do in this scenario?
in this scenario, I mean, the reality is we talk about sovereign nations, right? But of course we know some sovereign nations are bigger and have more power than other sovereign nations. But a government can say regarding its own sovereign borders that we think that this move you made or the statement you made within our territory is offensive to the philosophical and spiritual position of our country. Because I was looking at this online today, and I didn't get the verification, but some people were asking online, I wonder if they're going to fly this flag in Saudi Arabia and a couple other territories who they know would be extremely offensive if they were to do it. So the government has a duty politically to make its position known. There isn't a whole lot from a political wisdom standpoint that we can do to say, oh, y'all better take this out of here or else. But I think the least that can be done is you state your position as a sovereign nation to let them know that this is where we stand and we're not leaning towards that, and we really don't take lightly you seeming to have an agenda of pushing your sovereign beliefs upon our nation.
Never.
Now, I mean, if you get the right leadership, the right government in place, they'll do it. Because
which one? Which one?
Let me tell you why. For example, when Finland went to the UN and made that stance regarding Nelson Mandela, that was not popular. That was very sensitive because nations all around the world were silent, like it didn't exist. But this little small nation, we brought it to the fore in front of media all around the world, and then all of a sudden everybody said, "Oh yeah, but it's wrong. We should do something about it." So
that was easy.
That was easy? No, man, that wasn't easy.
No, that was easy.
That was
easy.
What I'm saying is, back then, that was the LGBTQIA situations of the day.
The first weakening of the gay laws in this country came under the PLP in 1991.
I called that out many years ago. Years ago, I called that out.
The voice weakening. That's why I said to you, when it comes to this particular issue, you will find no back and forth.
Right.
Remember that we in political, this silly season, we in political season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Christian Council given a statement, right, against the United States raising the flag. We in political season, we all can admit that, right? So the press secretary for the opposition, right? Just easy, just chalk. You come out today and you speak to the silence of the government supporting the Christian Council's position. And not over. You force their hand. Yet, if you do that, then
now I have to say
your position, which is why there's universal silence. You see, there's universal silence because I can't ask you to force the state your position
because someone got asked you
what your position is, and there's universal silence, which is why I said to you, the Christian Council, from the moral Christian perspective, spoke out to what their beliefs are. Which is why I said I have no problem with that. That is what they are supposed to do in more issues. But in this particular issue, fine, I have no issue with that. The United States government, to their point, have their particular agenda and their view, and they release a statement talking the overarching about how they don't believe in discrimination and et cetera, et cetera. So that's their position. Okay? So here you have the United States government position. The council position. What is the government's position? Silence.
Well, that is what I tabled before. I highlighted the fact that the government has not stated a position, and to be told, if you go back over the years, I could actually tell you what the opposition, many in the opposition, and many in the government's position is, because they have said it at different times from an individualistic standpoint. So we kind of know. But guess what? One of the things about diplomacy and politics is about, the truth is about who has the greatest influence and who can sway the masses. And in many of these Western countries, we don't realize that the church is the biggest political body.
Correct.
The politicians, though, that's why they play us every election time. They play us during the campaign. But if the church would truly stand together and state its position as one voice, no government in this region will have a chance.
Agreed.
Potent.
Agreed.
Potent.
Yeah.
I don't know where we go from here with this on this. I don't know what the next step can be.
You know next.
I mean I think if let's see what Tito's leader do. Let's see what Lincoln does.
You all throw that big haymaker out there. The United States put their chin out and get it on the chin.
Yeah.
They come back with a little flimsy statement. And that went over. And they just wait for time to just
let it run.
Yeah.
It's the whole month.
Yeah.
It's the whole month.
The Christian Council and punch them in the mouth. There's nothing to say. They came back and they put up the little flimsy statement.
What is it?
Basically, the statement was, we believe in equality for all people, blah, 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 whatever.
So my thing is, right, equality for all people. What have to do with that flag being there?
Well, see, first and foremost.
Especially considering that the LGBTQIA is not a nation. Now, what I would pose is, are they petitioning to establish like Israel did some 60 years ago? Are they petitioning to start an LGBTQI nation where all of them will migrate to this one spot and live together?
Well, that's what I'm saying. What are you talking about? We're giving they support all people groups.
Basically, it goes to the point I was telling you. Whereas in this country, technically speaking, you can be discriminated as a person who is gay in the Bahamas. You can be legally. You can be.
See, again, I even ain't gonna get into that. I ain't gonna go down that path right there. My thing is, you have an orientation that you have chosen. Some people say they born that you've chosen this orientation. How you get a flag to stand outside of a building because of that?
Because because all right, and see now I don't want to say that
we don't like to go to this level with this
because
conversation.
they feel like as a particular special group, they feel like they are pushed.
Stop right there. This special group. There are a lot of special groups.
Right, and there.
Ain't nobody fighting for me. I don't know what color flag for them to be over there.
What's your special group? Because I can tell you if your special group, they probably won't. You don't got no money. There's a lot of backing with that particular group.
And every time you try and raise up, they take the money from you.
See, in a country like ours, where they're talking about, right, there's a small percentage of persons who identify themselves as LGBTQ, right? This is not the United States. Y'all don't have the same problems that people in the United States would have. And the reason why I don't have that problem is because our laws clearly tell you can't have that problem there. Okay? See, there's no, well, we want to get married. No, they ain't no, because y'all can't get married. Okay? So there's not a debate of, we adopted children. No, y'all can't adopt the children. You understand? So there are certain issues that you trying to bring to the forefront that simply don't exist here because you can't do it.
It has this whole thing that we don't even address. And this in me, I try my best not to impose. That's why I'm glad I had pastors to come in, so I don't have to impose the pastor too much. I do, y'all know I still do it.
Yeah.
How much women you slept with in the last 20 years? That ain't my business.
That's also fact. I was about to hit you with
I hope Peter wasn't about to answer that.
No, I was about to answer. No,
like you.
I was slowing. No, hold on. No, I was slowing down. No, I go slow down.
Yeah, Denzel,
I go on to hit him with the line. I
don't know.
Hey, Devin, was it Devin?
I go on to hit him with the line.
I'm gonna say, Denzel, you jumped me on that question. I was coming at them. Not only how many, but how did you do it? Which approach did you take to do it?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
We don't. I don't care.
I don't care, and that ain't my business. Why you need a flag?
I'll tell you why you think. Why you think you need? Why you think you need a flag, or why you need a flag?
I did not ask you. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I do not care. And watch this thing called pride. You know.
Yeah.
And this will be getting a mess up now.
Yeah.
Our whole I try not to preach. And our thing is pride. God hate pride.
Yeah.
What we dealing with is God hating homosexuality. We dealing with the wrong thing. Stop dealing with God hating homosexuality. He said it explicitly. I hate pride, and I hate a proud look. And it's by no mistake that they have fallen into this thing and calling themselves this thing is all pride movement.
They picking fights.
Pride month, and it's blatantly anti-God and anti what he says, because no God-fearing movement will get up there and say our movement is called pride. What? That in the kingdom of God, that doesn't exist. We run. When we see pride, we run.
See,
we
now,
don't brag on pride.
See, now I can be honest with you. See, as a pastor, right? I want you guys to know what scares persons out there. Don't scare me, but what scares persons out there is when the church, and why you say the social media, why you feel sometimes in the social media backing of these positions is because persons who into other things, when they see you go at them, this particular group, they get nervous. So, for example, the gamblers, the partiers, right? The alcoholics, the heavy drinkers, to those who like the carouse and have a fantastic time with them. They always nervous. They say, hold on now.
They coming.
They go. See, and if I let them take, and even though they may agree with your position, they say to themselves, but if I let them take them,
they coming for me next.
At some point, the light comes my way. I next. And that's what they get, and they get nervous.
Yeah. So this whole idea, would I ask you what happened in your bedroom? I didn't ask you that, and I don't care to know that.
As I told you, me and a family member falling over this today, right? And I had to tell a family member the truth. And one of the truth is, I basically said, let me tell you the country you live in case you didn't know. Okay? When me and you were young men on Sunday, this town was shut down. I say, you know why this town was shut down? Because there was a reverence for Sunday. There were certain things on Sunday you could not do.
Right.
Okay? And I was mandated. So if you felt like waking up on a Sunday and going to a liquor store, as some people do now on Sundays, right? You go to that liquor store through the back door, because that was illegal.
Right.
Because you try open up that liquor store Sunday at 9 o'clock, you breaking the law. Okay? So that is the country you live in. Don't forget. Don't all of a sudden, because you watching ABC and NBC and Fox News and CNN, you all believe you all this. This ain't Florida Day North. I keep telling people that this is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Know where you live.
Right.
Okay, 20 years ago on a Sunday, this town was shut down because no nothing. And a comment by someone, a comment by my older person in our family group said, and that's when this country was better off. I didn't say that to that. I didn't let it go.
let me we getting ready to go. Let me get your closing comments, Ambassador.
Thank you so much, sir. I just tell you, I got to run. But I want to say this, but beyond the point of homosexuality and the whole gay agenda being considered by our faith a sin, one of the challenges I have, and this is separate apart from the whole flag incidents, I have a problem with a human being. For example, let's say you were born male and you decide to become homosexual. Do you know that what they're fighting for is for you to have your rights as a male and then additional rights as homosexual? Because you could, whenever you feel like you could choose between those two positions, that's what they're fighting for. I got a problem with that. So it's not about equality, it's about you have more rights than I do. But over and beyond that point, I want to say that again, nations, particularly when you deal with embassies exist to indicate that we have friendly or diplomatic relations, and the basis of that relationship is based upon mutual respect and the whole honoring of the territory that your embassy is placed in. So you could believe what you want inside the doors of your embassy as you desire. But when you step out of that now and seek to push your beliefs onto that sovereign nation, you've crossed the line of diplomatic relations, and at least a conversation needs to be had, and that host nation needs to make its position clear. Our government is still silent, but I thank God that the church has done its job and made a statement and say, this is what we believe. We love everybody. Our beliefs are founded here. All right, that's my final contribution for today. Thanks for having me on here, guys.
Love to have you in studio soon, man. So you come in with the brethren, so you can feel the sweat.
Blessings. All right.
I don't think we need to go any further. For example, going back to that debate last night.
No, we come back to that.
We come on to that.
That debate was nonsense. So
That was not nonsense.
I don't want to call it. Let me say
That
this.
prime minister wasn't there as nonsense.
Let me say this,
But he
and
done right there.
I can say this publicly.
they win the debate.
I can say this. I can say this.
There for them.
Let me say this publicly. I commend.
He insulted me.
What do you commend?
I commend Dwayne Hyler. I think he did a wonderful job.
I think so too.
Who represented the Bahamas Constitution Party? I think he did an excellent job.
I don't want to insult Dwayne either. I mean, he did an adequate job. I would say adequate.
I think he did an excellent job. I think what he spoke, he knew all of the areas. He spoke to them clearly. He brought points to the arguments that weren't repeating what everybody else said, because there was just a kind of recycling what everybody else was saying. He brought certain other viewpoints to the conversation. I was impressed by the offering from the BCP.
If they had-
about the other one,
Which other one?
coalition.
The coalition, we've been hearing what they everything they said, what they've been saying.
Which is
So
what? Which is what?
there isn't.
What
There
point?
isn't.
Name
What
one of them.
points he at?
Name one of them.
Oh,
No,
he-
get the mic. Name one of them.
We can. I'm gonna invite Lincoln on real soon, so we can do this, because I want to do this with him in studio.
Yeah.
And he is authorized to be he's a member of the barbershop.
That don't disqualify you answering the question.
But go ahead and answer what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
What's your answer?
I can wait.
No. You can forget by then.
No.
And let me say this. I mean, for
You don't force me to do nothing.
we have full disclaimers here. Dwayne Hyler is a personal friend. I haven't taught him in a long
No,
time.
but we both agree.
But-
Well, privately
Yeah,
off air, we
yeah.
both agree he did the best of all.
To me, of all.
The reason why I was saying I ain't getting that far is because I don't believe Mr. Hyler should have been on the stage with the rest of those voices in the beginning, in the first place. I believe.
How much leaders of the party so that 2-8 or 1?
But Dwayne isn't the leader.
No, I say right. So much leaders of the party so only 1-8.
What's a party?
But I think too. I think isn't King the leader of no, the King is the leader of his party.
What's a party?
See, and that's where I agree with Peter
What's a party?
100%. That I
I mean, let's stop beating around the bush. What's a party?
The leader of the group then. The group.
It's a group.
The group.
A small
I
group.
believe you should have a conversation for those factions.
Yeah, and that's what we call them factions.
And
They're
what
small
you know what I
groupings.
believe too? I believe when you have to this will be offensive to them. When you have them smaller factions have their meetings,
Yes.
then the big factions will look at them and say, you know what? Okay, let's grab him.
Right, and let's grab that
Let's
one.
grab that
Yeah.
one. And let's grab that one.
Right.
Because they do have, honestly,
Someone
I
need to-
would love a Dwayne Hyler around the table.
Someone need to call Dwayne Allen, one of the two big groups. Need to
Right,
call
that's it,
Dwayne Allen
right.
to get
Need to
and they
talk
come in. Yeah, because I mean, let's be perfect.
You wasting the time.
You wasting the time.
Yeah, man. You wasting
We
the
don't
time.
like to hear that, right?
Yeah, but that's the
You
truth. You
wasting
wasting the
the
time.
It's the truth.
Wasting the time.
Like when Brother Ben coming here, and I can say this before Brother Ben coming here, and I can say it when he reached, and I can them know. But man, you wasting the time.
But he say you don't waste your time, everybody. See why I was wasting
That's
your
what,
time.
no. You know, Brother Ben has not wasted his time with anyone else. See, that's again. But I can deal with Brother Ben because I heard Brother Ben say that, and I want Brother Ben to outline how he wastes his time because Brother Ben didn't have no candidate for nobody, so he wasted time.
It's kind of DNA.
He was kind of DNA.
Okay, somebody.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question.
The DNA never had
on the same. So let me ask you this. I all I want to hear an answer. Remember there was a big deal because at this Tito area, y'all didn't want y'all wasn't sure, but well, Genesis and Colors, whether they should have been a B group or A group.
Right.
They was in that Genesis and Colors there, that little gray area.
Mm-hmm.
Where's DNA? Is DNA
a B group?
Is DNA on the stage of the crew last night?
They lead the B group.
Or should DNA be on the big stage?
They lead the B group.
What y'all say?
They leading that B group.
Lead the B group division.
So they
I know, man. I think they supposed to be the big boys.
See, but that's just it. That's just it. Y'all want to use an example. But here is it now where Genesis is now rised above the B group. And it's a smaller group in the A group. That is now slowly, surely coming together to overtake the rest of them.
I going to tell Pastor that analogy with the jungle isn't fair.
That was a little tricky.
No, it wasn't fair.
I think that's a fair one.
No, it isn't fair. I'll tell you why it is.
Colors was a small guy in the B group.
Right.
But now they're the king in the big group.
Okay.
Which colors? Because there's two colors here.
No, Colors, Chris Sicilian.
The pinnacle.
That was fancy dancers.
Okay.
Nah, it's Colors. Colors must even but 15 straight.
Let's be perfectly honest, right? we are now entering. So elections is being we ain't doing it called.
Don't forget my Jungle scenario now.
Right. But the last election, I cleared up. The last election was in 2017. The election before that was in 2012. So the pinnacle of the DNA, the pinnacle
Would have been 27.
would have been 20. No, excuse me, so it was 2012 when they had a leader who was in the House of Assembly.
Correct.
Right.
Wow.
And they would have put candidates out there in the 2012 election.
Mhm.
A couple of those candidates got their deposit back. The leader didn't win their seat. The very next election, none of them get their deposit back.
And the leader stepped down.
And the leader stepped down. So whereas Genesis doing this.
So did the leader get his deposit in 2017? He did, right?
I think he would have.
I think he got about 800. So he got his deposit back.
He definitely got his
So
deposit
so the 2 times the leader got his deposit back. You know what? Oh no, the leader and the deputy leader got the deposit.
That's because Chris got his
Yeah,
deposit back.
yeah.
Didn't Lincoln get his deposit back too? I think he did.
Boy, he was.
I thought he did too.
I think he did.
Lion Ox is biggest support over there.
But see, that's my thing. Now we talking about.
Hold on. That's a big deal now. We don't
Getting
have
it-
much. We ain't get much third
Watch
parties who's getting deposit back.
Watch this. Now the standard. Listen to this now.
But now he's
Now the
standard getting the
Now
ball
the
back.
standard getting the
But I have Peter Point valid though.
I want to set up.
But this
Go ahead.
ain't fair because a lot of those guys
I mean,
who
it ain't
in the
fair.
big party, or a lot of guys from the big party
Go ahead.
only riding the wave.
So,
They ain't worth nothing.
what's up with
Who
your boy?
bought this?
Yeah, but they been the
Well,
big group.
if I wouldn't give blow wrestling like but on my volleyball,
And I
I
went
got
to
to blow
volleyball
wrestling with champ and I went.
I
I
went.
went.
Group.
So you riding the bench.
Yeah.
You know I tell one of my players Sunday.
It don't matter. Here we go. It don't matter.
Not because you with the big dog
See,
means you could jump. No, I told him. I said you gotta shut up.
no, but see me and Pop.
You
No,
can't talk yet.
no, but I'm talking.
No,
this. Hold on
no,
a
because
second.
Peter, we have our rules.
No.
We have a couple
Right.
guys
No.
respecting football.
Don't
right?
shout. Don't shout. Don't shout.
No.
You have a couple
You're
guys
starting.
respecting football.
Right.
You can't come talk to me. You and Peter know that. You
Right.
can't come talk
Yeah,
to me.
Right,
You
but hold on.
send rods. I want them other guys
Yeah.
to come talk to me.
Right.
That's
But hold
like,
on.
that's like I want you. I almost call you.
No, but no, one second. No, one second.
almost called.
But this is what I said. This is what I talk past about. So he asked me to do the jungle. So I'm describing it. So if your goal coming in as a B group
It's the move up.
is to move up. So y'all see in the A group, I think it's we to come in first or we come in second.
Right.
If your goal is to get your deposit back, you win in the A division.
You ain't even with us.
You over me.
You ain't even in our
See, and that's what I tried to tell Bassa.
Like that's standard yet, though.
What you mean this country in the center?
They're not there.
What you
They're
mean
not
to do?
acceptance.
No, there is acceptance. We accept. No, Tito, we have acceptance.
Listen to me. We are.
You can't accept anything though, Tito. Anything?
But y'all been doing it.
No, you think so? See, that's where you under the.
but
That's
y'all
a
been
no.
doing it.
No, that's where you under the opinion that
Sir,
him.
y'all been doing it,
Cool.
and they've been riding the tails of others, and because it was a color, they was accepted.
See,
But it was absolute nonsense.
that's where I can
You
tell
can't
you. That's
sit
where I
there.
can tell your
You
leader.
can't sit there and say you ain't ever do that.
No, but everybody know me. I don't do that.
But this is why your
But you
leader.
only following up your leader.
This is why your leader could be in trouble when he coming young. Because the first thing I can tell your leader do, we talk about leader, is we talk about vision and leadership. When you are the captain of a vessel, I have to judge you by where your vessel is gone. I've seen where your vessel is
I
gone.
know where he's getting.
You've been, hold on 1 second.
Because
One
a lot
second.
of vessels been down the wrong road too.
No, sir. No, sir. Not who lead the ship.
See, only because we
I
familiar.
don't see you all do that.
Familiar.
No, you all do that.
What this though?
You stand up.
That's we y'all better judge than anybody else.
See, I won't pick on your leader. But your leader stand on the
Hello?
stage and
If you become a
criticize
pastor,
the
if you
PLP.
become a pastor,
You can't.
because I know you.
You cannot
because I
compare.
know you,
Hold on.
and where
Now.
you
You
come
can't.
from.
You can't compare the two.
I got to go before God and pray.
You can't compare the two. How you can compare?
When
Why
the
you gotta
lead
pray?
my
Why you
church,
gotta
No, you can't
no,
compare the
how
two.
familiar they is.
Right.
No,
Just
see,
me
you
trying to
can't.
be familiar.
You cannot compare getting saved and being a priest to being a politician.
No, you got to lead me.
Yeah.
No, Tito.
No, you
Tito.
can't.
me.
Tito.
Because I know
Denzel,
Carlo. I judge
Denzel.
Carlo.
But hold on, this man was a bastard.
One second. Hold on, Gallo, 1 second. You can't jump. 1 second, Gallo. You can't jump on the stage, right? And tell me about the wrong of the PLP and the wrong of the FNM and the wrong of the DNA when you've been a PLP, a FNM, and a DNA.
Yeah, they-
What are you you talking to?
That's my point.
What you talking to?
That's my thing.
You've let. I say, hold on a second.
This is the plan, and that was the first thing I say. And I found out. I say, how is this even possible? He
was deceived.
He has to tell me
right
what,
right,
why is he in this?
Deceived.
Right.
He in this morning, as far as I can say it, from the outside looking in, he in this for all the wrong reasons.
And you got to prove to me that you.
Because you just boxing from body to body.
There could be an argument here, though. The argument could be like, you know what? All right, you know what? I can go in there.
Right.
I see some things wrong in there.
Good.
I can go in there.
And clean it up.
I can, you know what?
Yeah,
You can't. You hold on.
No, 1 second. 1 second.
You know,
1 second.
I got it. Let me see if I can get in here.
Right.
But this thing can't.
It stinks.
This can't fix. This
Right.
is a mess.
Good.
I get over here.
I got you.
So I go over there.
Right.
Let me see if I can get around this table.
Correct.
Because I'm passionate about nation building.
Correct.
I'm passionate about things in the nation.
Correct.
And I know you can't, if you don't have a seat around the table, you're a victim of the negotiations.
Correct.
All right? So I go to this next table. I go
That
here.
stinks.
Oh, Lord, this thing stink too.
Right.
There's voice
So,
in the voice on.
I see a green table.
Right.
You know what?
And I go to the green
doggone
table.
It, I get into this green table.
And I found that
I
also
go in
stinks.
there and say like, oh, man, you know what?
Right.
Forget it. I buy me some wood.
Right.
I can build my own table.
Right.
So how do we castigate?
I will get because you stand there and you say, I joined X group because at that time I liked the table because the table was X. I left that because I found out the table wasn't X. I joined Y. I found out it wasn't Y. I left them. I joined Z. Fine. And now I am on this group. No problem. But you can't come there criticizing group Y about some group Y done 30 years ago when 10 years ago you was with group Y. Because they had done that 30 years ago, and when you was with them 10 years ago, they had done it 20 years ago. So what you talking about? What policy change suddenly you decide, oh, I find so unacceptable.
In the words of my friend and brother, that's Mario Boxing.
I don't know.
And that's my problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So because when I was listening to it, I said, okay, so when exactly you decided that this
because you said that problem that you say existed was there before you went to the table.
And you still go to that table. You still go to that table.
Let's see if we can get Lincoln there for next Wednesday. We can get
Oh, here we go.
You ever had a scenario you say, boy, I know this fella's a bad man, right? But I can clean him up.
But see the point. I guess the point.
But
I
see,
with you. I with you.
But
Right.
you listen.
I can change him.
You're not listening. You are not listening.
But I think I sweet enough. I can change
what
him.
Peter said. Peter said you can't reference a 30-year problem. No.
Right. You
'Cause
can't
you
trouble
was
10 year
there.
problem.
You can only,
In 2019,
if you get problems within the last 12 years, okay, we leave it alone.
So, all right, the major issue
I'll
of the
say
day,
so.
no, the major issue of the day is Aragonite, right? Aragonite been an issue in this country from 1957.
No, but I didn't know it then, Peter. I didn't know.
But
he know. I know he know.
He didn't know.
he didn't know, man.
He just find out.
Man, this man been investigating and researching the Aragonite from long time.
Then you gotta get
even
your
sometimes, I
facts.
like-
Then you gotta
No,
get
but
your facts.
sometimes, though, Carlo, you can't go in there red hot. You know, you gotta sit small, work your way in.
But he ain't sit smart.
Yeah, he kind of little, and then he rise.
But
up
what
real
about
quick.
what about
But you
this?
can't just come
Let
to
me
the
change
table.
and leave
Come on,
leave
man.
my friend. We can bring him on.
We can bring him
and
on.
and I don't know. Actually, we may get I don't know. We can make a request for.
Let's get higher too.
I can move on to Brave Davis. We may get him on too.
Yeah, let's
I
get.
would love to
He may-
see the right honorable.
No, he ain't right on him.
He ain't right honorable yet.
No, he ain't right on him. He ain't right on him.
Possibly soon
Boy,
to
listen to
be.
me. Pastor, the way you seeing it?
He can be right on this one. But I mean, I'm gonna try to get him on as well. I think we had is that time now. We said he's gonna hold off. It's that time now. We were there now, so let's start bringing them in.
But let's try get on. Let's try get all on. But I know one group ain't coming.
We can bring them one by one though.
Yeah, one group ain't
You
coming.
know why the next group ain't coming?
Which group?
I can't say that.
Which group you think ain't coming?
I know what group ain't coming.
Which group you think ain't coming? That's what I go and tell you.
I go on and say the color and shape, but it ain't dark enough.
But who comes? Let me say this.
It ain't dark
Let me say
enough.
this too. And I
got
ain't
trouble
being
with
full of
stealing
myself here. But I think who comes determines who invite them.
Yeah.
Say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
who
Benson,
comes
don't invite
to
them.
them, invite them. Yeah.
So Dan said you invite everybody.
I ain't saying that. Don't come in there. Don't come in there. My name is Mr. Rhodes. My friends call me that.
Yeah, Mr. Roll. Mr. Roll can invite everybody. Mr. Roll, they know Mr. Roll's a neutral party. They willing to accept Mr. Roll. Because if I call some people asking and they say I got to
I ain't gonna lie. I had some big mo fellas coming to the shop.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to meet so and so? Oh, they jumping the phone. All them to get embarrassed. Person ain't show up yet. In fact, the guy who running my area,
Yeah.
you know, when they're short guys come.
I know. I know.
I ain't coming
know he's talking about.
You want to meet Mr. So-and-so?
Yeah.
I'm going to. Fella ain't show up yet.
No, he can't show up.
I remember I heard that I was waiting for that day
He
to come.
can't show up.
Me and all I see are more big mouth fellas.
He can't show up. He too busy. He too busy talking to people.
Oh,
and trying
They
to.
also call one of my good friends when I used to go to St. John's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want to call me Henry Check?
He ain't show up either?
Show up there. That fella going to the food store.
But hold on. Remember what I just said.
Yeah.
It depends on who
It
invites
better
you.
invite him.
No.
You won't invite. You won't invite him.
My friend.
No, but who made the phone call?
Let me say this.
I buck my good friend who been to school with me.
And
I
who's
said,
that?
I said, you won't come and hear me yet.
I would
Come
say this.
across the road and hear me in the barbershop.
Mr. Davis, out of all, is more likely to come. I will tell you why. The rest of the groups, they so careful now on what they allowed to say and what they could say, that coming on a show like Barbershop Talk, where because the first thing you can't control will be asking you.
And we submit no
And
script.
we submit no script, and that's a problem.
And that's why I think none got.
Let me say this thing though. That piece about, and I didn't know this that Dwayne mentioned last night, and he asserted it about Jobeth Colby being on the board of Bahamas Petroleum. I didn't know that. Being there, legal counsel, one of the legal counsel.
She's not on the board.
Not
She's
on the board. Legal counsel.
Yeah,
right?
she's a legal counsel. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it's just interesting.
But why is that a big
It's
deal?
interesting.
The company was founded in the leader of the opposition office in his company, and the consultant was the former PM of the
Minister.
country. So
my thing is then, what's your position on oil drilling?
you mean the PLB? You mean the
Yeah.
PLB position?
Yeah.
Oh, the position is they got to support the client. I mean,
See, that's right. See, no, I have no problem. See, I mean, you
support the client.
you in business. I have no problem. You in business,
But the
and,
form-
and I can't fight who your clients. I remember one time I was talking to one engineer friend of mine, and he was talking, but he was so anti gambling. Engineering friend of mine. I say, this is interesting. He said, why you say that, Rev? Because I'm engineer, he's engineer. I said, but didn't you design that building downtown?
Yeah.
No, but that's business. I said, hold on, man.
Right.
Hold on.
Right.
Hold on.
Right.
You just tell me you this dirty money and these fellas got to be held accountable and I don't like what's going on in this country and this gambling thing, this. But you designed the building.
Right.
No, dying the same thing. Well, so how they in the same
Well,
thing?
to be fair to the opposition, that is the same way, right? Because we don't let anyone escape. That's the same way where the FNM was totally against gambling. I mean, totally.
I come in there now.
They were for it.
I ain't letting this end without coming in
They
here.
were for it initially, right? When to form the referendum, because the PM and the leader of opposition talked, and they were unified. And then to get them to the vote, the leader of the opposition, then the prime minister, he abandoned the PM, leave the PM totally on his own, then joined the Christian Council, whose position was all along no. And now they become the government, and now they find a ways to tax this group. They find it
I ain't getting
they find it new ways.
I get somebody else.
They find it new ways to make money. They create the laws to make
I
more
have
money.
to end the show with this. It's time for us to go on. I think we have a show starting at 7:30, right, Marisha? Do we have a 7:30 show coming on there? Or no? But I still gonna end soon.
Yeah.
8 o'clock? I ain't mean no 8 o'clock. We can stop before 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let me just
Yeah.
make this last point.
Yeah.
We're known for having short-term memory in this country.
Very short.
Definitely.
What have you done for me lately?
How is it that an industry that I heard persons in certain political persuasions call these people criminals,
Absolutely.
call them gangsters?
Ambassadors.
You make all these negative statements about these people, lawbreakers. How is it that, and you had a problem when their breaking of the laws was whitewashed, with it then being, with the industry being legalized? How is it now that we take the mogul of that industry in the country and we make that person an ambassador to carry the flag of the nation to another country? And I ain't where you sleep now. You ain't carrying the flag to Mogadishu or whatever the case is. no little tuck shop somewhere. No insult to. I don't think that's a real country. I didn't made the name up. I think it's Mogadishu.
Dishu, yeah.
Right. So I glad I say Dushu.
Yeah.
So you can know that don't exist.
Right.
But now you are now carrying the flag of the nation to South Africa. Is that okay?
It was okay with me.
Is that okay? Full stop.
Well, for me who supported gambling, it's fine. For y'all, for the majority of the payments who say gambling is morally reprehensible and should be legalized, I would have a major problem with it. So majority of y'all,
even with the persons who said they had a problem with it, and now they don't have a problem with it, because he didn't appoint himself.
Oh, they hypocrites.
But you say you don't have a problem with it.
No, I voted for it. So I was with that crew. So as far as I can say, he's fine for me.
But what about his appointment? I know about him as a person.
Oh.
I honestly, I say this wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing personally about the brother, but everything I've seen about the brother, I've listened to some of his speeches. I think he's an amazing businessman. I think he's a brilliant mind and a ingenious behemoth. He's brilliant. Now, I don't know nothing back, and I don't want to know nothing else. So I can't come up here and say, besides the fact of him running in the legal industry for some time, outside of that,
No, see,
I have nothing negative to say about the brother.
Hold on now, Pastor. I got to deal
I
with
mean to put it in there.
No, I know, but I got to deal with that. You can't say you run in the legal industry, then I'll say, but I don't have no problem with that. Because if I was running the legal industry, you all would have a problem with that.
No. I say beside that. I say
You can't go beside.
that.
You mean beside that?
I say that's the only problem I have with the brother. I don't know nothing else about
You
him.
say you don't know nothing else
I don't know
about
nothing else about him.
Who say he was running the legal industry?
I say that.
You say that?
Yeah.
Only you? The PM didn't say that when he was leading the opposition.
But
He
I
didn't
don't know
say
the PM say. I can say what I say.
that? You say.
Yeah, what I say.
Oh no, but the PM said that when he was leading the opposition.
Yeah, so he's breaking the law.
He's breaking the law.
Right.
When you breaking the law, it's illegal.
So, well, that's what I thought.
That's what I.
So that's I understand what I say to say I have no personal issue with.
So
the brother,
when you breaking the law, and you
besides
legal-
that he broke the law.
so when you breaking the law, right? What are you?
Criminal.
No, hold on. No, we ain't talking about. See, you going now. Let's be very careful. When you're breaking the law, what are you?
A criminal.
You are a criminal, right?
Lawbreaker.
You are a lawbreaker. Oh, so you're just a lawbreaker. You're a criminal when you get charged. Okay, so at that point, you're just a lawbreaker. Okay, well, all right. So in that case, then.
I run the red light and ain't get catch. I just break the law.
Okay.
But you ain't a criminal.
No, I ain't no criminal.
But if your business was running red lights, what would you be? You would be a lawbreaker or you'd be a criminal?
I'd be a lawbreaker.
You'd be a lawbreaker.
Extensive lawbreaker.
Oh, so if I talk to you and I say,
Once you catch me,
what I say, this fella Tito, all this fella Tito's do is run red lights. I said, we don't want this fella Tito nowhere around nothing. Because this fella don't obey the laws. And I said it with you.
if you don't pay customs when you come in through the airport and you duck and you do all them stuff, are you a lawbreaker?
You are absolute lawbreaker.
Are you a criminal?
Absolutely. But boy, that's so technical. That's technical. Well, if you forge your customs, if you forge your customs form, you're a criminal.
You a criminal?
How much you
How much us? No. Us? No,
How
boy.
much of y'all that walk to the side door waving?
Hey, be careful.
Hey.
How much of y'all
Hey. For he. But don't sit your castle for store. Be careful. You
I went to the office.
you? Anyway. Back to the matter of fact. No, it's important said that gentleman was made ambassador. And some of y'all scared to say it because some of y'all, and let me finish, and some of y'all scared to say it because y'all are there with y'all hand out looking for money. See, I can say it because I don't go to that bar for the money. Who? You mean Demi? Yeah, and that's why they had to roll, and that's why they had to roll along with it. That's absolute foolishness. Well, I hope when the next government in power they name Mr. Flowers ambassador or something. I don't hear none of y'all say nothing. Don't open your mouth. Sorry, y'all, don't open your mouth. I said it. I said it. Peter Wilson said.
I don't understand. I don't understand, man. I don't.
You don't have no shame in it. You don't have no shame in this country.
Ain't nothing.
It is so blatant.
Nothing.
You don't have no shame in this country.
Nothing in this country. It surprised me no more.
Yeah,
Nothing.
he was the only fella in that industry at the swearing in. He was there. He was invited there.
See, now that part about being invited there, I wasn't 100% sure about. Let me tell you why I was 100%.
What's wearing it?
The government.
The government. when they won the election.
See, I
was
wasn't.
there.
I wasn't. No, he was there. But see, I wasn't 100%. See, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I don't know if we can prove that he actually wasn't invited. See, I don't know. Yeah, but then there are multiple groups with people there.
Who can invite you?
Family members. You see, that's what I said. So that's technical.
Yeah,
but
you could be.
If you just you don't know who he's invited.
I don't know who he's invited by.
Yeah.
See, and that's why I said it was.
Yeah.
So I agree with him. No, but he was set. No, but he was there. But he was there. But what we can say was the present government was on record against gambling.
There's against a lot of things. There's against the increase of VAT. There's against a lot of things.
Dwayne Rhodes says, did the young man not have a legal business license to simply provide website access to struggling behaviors who didn't have Wi-Fi?
Well, first and foremost, Dwayne, I can say this to you because you was a man who never used to be in there. Let me talk about somebody who used to be in there. I can talk about it myself. I never look at nothing. And they have no website other than the numbers who was falling that particular day. Now I'm sure that some people in there was using the computer thing.
Shop.
But I know I wasn't one of them.
You didn't go to Wi-Fi?
No, sir. I went there to gamble. Okay? And I voted for gambling. And now and I was also offended when I voted for gambling. And the gambling was struck down that we were still allowed to gamble. I was offended. That's a petty boy said. Because in my heart, bro, you know what I said to myself? I said, but these people who voted against it, they even get to feel no pain. I wanted us to suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember I told you, I said I wanted them to. I said I want them to shut down every number shop, and I want them to go to the bush to gamble, because that's what you all deserve.
And let me say this, and that's why. See, this is why, and I say this loud and clear. That's why Denzel and Tony role is apolitical.
Right.
I can't pick the political side.
Yeah.
Because on the one side, we get now an ambassador in South Africa. On the next side, you tell me vote, then you tell me it's only a poll. We really ain't.
Opinion poll after the fact.
We was in that stage. I like it. That's why I had to watch last night.
When you say no, I see you trying to fix my business.
That's why I had to watch last night. I said, let me watch the rest of them. But I didn't want the PLP to have them there to go. Let me hear these other fellas in here. Let me hear them talk.
They scare me.
So they can see what they had to say.
They scare me.
But guess what, Pastor? I never really heard the F&M and the PLP talk without all the big charade and the music.
That's why I really want it.
I want to see my fellas them come to the stage without all the music and the DJ and talk to me
About what?
whatever you got to offer
But
me.
you all
What
ain't,
they have to offer
you
you?
all ain't coming out to see that.
Don't put the
Now,
money
I
in the
believe
t-shirt with all the DJ.
I think we
Talk to
should
me.
petition the University of the Bahamas, petition the ambassador of South Africa, the ambassador of South Africa.
Yeah, boss of
his station.
Yeah.
Petition them, and all the other parties we can petition to say we want to see the F&M against versus the PLP in a debate.
To talk about what?
All them same questions they asked last night, them and more questions.
They have no idea.
And that'll be good, you know.
No, but
Let them
let's
two-
put it out there.
Says yours the big dogs. Sit down. Let me hear y'all two chat.
I'd love for that, but the two of them have to decide that, and they will never decide it because then that would mean
Say the truth.
that would mean they would have to put positions.
No, say the truth.
Out.
They like to read off paper.
No, not read off paper.
No, they don't need the paper. I don't need
There ain't no
Don't read
paper.
paper.
No.
Pastor, I can guarantee you them fellas can't answer the hard
They
question.
can answer very hard
Who
questions.
fellas?
No, you mean the questions they didn't get before they come
They
with
can
the
answer very hard
all
questions.
them questions.
I can't wait.
This the problem.
I can't wait.
The problem is if I get you in a set where I could pin you down for an answer, any of them, you have to say what your answer is, and you have to say why that's your answer, and that's the problem. The problem is the two of them basically agree, and this is what people don't understand. They basically agree on everything. Everything.
Now here's the one thing I can say. You probably need a third person with them too, though.
Right.
Why? Because all them, they got some spots where they ain't gonna go, and because both of them know,
I can't go there because I
go
agree.
there, but I know you can't go there,
Right.
And you know I can't go there,
Right.
So you may need a third person with them too. I
Right.
actually started to reconsider.
Right.
I don't know if I want to do them by themselves,
So now I gotta ask you this.
so I can bring the B group, bring the B group.
One of them.
Which B group you bring in?
Don't bring.
Not C group. Not Junior Junction group.
Listen,
Bring a
who's
B
the
group.
biggest P group right now?
Bring a B
Who's the
group.
biggest?
I stop it.
You know
All
what I'm
I-
talking about? Who's the
The
biggest?
biggest
I
is
call-
bad people.
I ain't calling no name.
No.
The DNA.
The DNA is the biggest big group.
With
I beg
Traction,
to differ.
I know. I think with
I beg to
Traction,
differ.
I think Traction wise, I think Lincoln those the past DNA. I believe so. Traction wise,
The biggest B group,
People like Red Green.
the biggest B group right now is F&M. That's the biggest B group. You all know what's it, but I'll say it. That's the biggest B group.
never heard.
I can say this. I can go on the limb and say this. Them pedestal won't come to the stage, Peter, because they can't answer the tough.
But I know one thing.
they could answer.
If you want to come to the stage, you better go.
I can tell you what I saw
They could
myself.
they
Let me
could
tell you
answer,
something
but-
myself. Everywhere you gotta go, you gotta be okay. I come in here. What I coming to do? I want to know exactly what the questions are, so I can be pro before I reach. You all ready for the big boy?
Let's be blunt with one.
I ended the show now. Let me go.
The F&M nor the PLB, like for example, they having a budget debate right now, right? All them two round over, not their round over, but the spending, because all them borrow. That's all they round with. They round with who getting cut.
I know.
As we
I know
close-
it's the outcome. Outcome and represent.
I end by saying there are people in the house now who I want to get another shot, and some who I think need to be gone. I won't call that list of persons do. So people I think need to get another shot. But we'll see how it goes.
You say, have that respect for me.
Damien says,
I'll do that for you all. You all want me listen.
Damien says, Tito, no party coming for your vote. Your vote is too complicated. That being said, we out here. We gotta go. We can be back on next week. I'm gonna reach out to link in a second. Right after the show. And
I had the power only 8 of them would be down to assembly. 8.
I got somewhere I want to stay on both sides.
Yeah, me too. 8.
Yeah, definitely want to stay.
I want 3.
The rule is,
Yeah.
you ride the wave coming in,
Yeah.
you ride the wave going out.
We out. Y'all have a blessed night, everybody.
You'll be-
We going. We had a full show tonight. We going. We see y'all
You'll be
later.
surprised who made
But the people are hungry. I want food to eat. Well, listen to me. From the little teeny weeny and I grow. And we are water you root out the door. Well, not even got some in that show. Well, this is a massacre. I don't want you to know. Yo. Chop, 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 chop it up. That dairy food, yes, we are gonna chop it up. Chop, 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 chop it up. Now there no food, then you know we have to chop it up. Chop, 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 chop.